Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pete Wall, and you have just entered the dungeon. Now, you are watching Pillar to Post, and tonight we have got a lot of news, a lot of interviews, and a little bit of a discussion about projects that are coming to Pillar to Post, such as the 2K17 Indie Fed. Also, I'm going to talk about some issues I had about the Raw fantasy booking live stream I did, and I want to send out an apology. So we're going to move right into that right now. And first of all, I want to give a shout out to Tyler Black. Now, I've got to get his channel from him just yet, so that way I can give those deets out. But he is the first patron of Pillar to Post on Patreon. And just want to say thank you, man. You are a great person. I've talked to him a couple of times now on the PS4, and we've had great convos. I'm going to hook up with him later on tonight. I've been meaning to the last couple of days, but I have been busy as hell. Also, want to give a shout out to all my subscribers and all my followers here on YouTube and VidMe. I do appreciate all the new subscribers. I know there are a lot of yous waiting for this Indie Fed to be starting live. So I'm going to start the topic off with that news. Now I'm going to grab my little notepad here to make sure I do this correctly. So, this is how I'm going to break it down. The Monday, or I should say the Raw fantasy booking will take place on Mondays at 4 p.m. That will be live stream. Now, occasionally it won't be. Once I've got all the equipment I need, my co-host would like to do commentary together, so some of it will be recorded. Some of it I will do on my own on live streams, and maybe, just maybe, he can join me as well for those live streams. We'll see how that's going to work. SmackDown fantasy booking will take place on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. as well. The Indie Fed, that is starting next week, and the debut, I should say, of Big Dog Wrestling. And no, it's not some Roman Reigns wannabe federation. We hate Roman Reigns equally. Now, some of us might like him, I don't know. But the Indie Fed includes YouTubers, Facebook wrestling app users, and we're combining that into one big community here on Pillar to Post. So the invite is still out there. We need more YouTubers to join. If you are a viewer and you want to get involved in this, and you have a character made on the PS4 with 2K17, and you'd like to have them added, male or female, does not matter to me. You want them added to this Fed, all you have to do is comment in the comments below and give me your wrestler name, the hashtag on the PS4, so I can download them and enter them in the roster. The Indie Fed will be debuting this coming Friday at 6 p.m. And we are going to have two brands. So it's going to also take place on Saturday, also at 6 p.m. I haven't quite came up with the brand names yet, but they will be introduced next week. I will make a rundown of all those who have signed up and who wanted to participate. I am very happy. I think we are at 44 in the roster at the moment, but I would like a lot more YouTubers to get involved. Now, I know you guys love wrestling. I know you guys are big wrestling fans. I know the 2K17 game isn't the best game, but 2K18 is just around the corner. And once that is out, I will be purchasing it right off the shelf when it's hot, and I will be adding your characters into 2K18 to make sure that we continue this independent federation. Now, we're going to break things down with the Raw and SmackDown fantasy booking. We've done it so both brands have a heavyweight champion. There is no universal champion and world champion. Not going to happen that way. We have got two heavyweight champs. And what's going to happen is every pay-per-view, the heavyweight champions will defend their titles, and whoever comes out the winner, be it the challenger or the current champ, they will move on to the main event to face their opposing champion of the other brand, and they will meet for a Universal Championship match. And they will be crowned the the undisputed champion of Raw and SmackDown of the WWE. Because in my eyes, that's what should be taking place on Monday and Tuesdays, SmackDown and Raw. Okay? You don't have a Universal Champion and a World Champion. That makes absolutely no sense. Okay? So, what? Brock Lesnar is currently the champion of the entire universe. And then we have the world champion on SmackDown. Makes no sense to me. We have two heavyweight champions. They meet at each pay-per-view, defend their titles. The winners meet to face the current, or what would be the current, undisputed champion. And we're going to have to crown that on our first pay-per-view. So that takes place. And I think that is the way I'm going to run the Indie Fed as well. We've got 44 members in the roster currently. Once I get more YouTubers involved, I'm sure we're going to have to do a second brand, which I don't mind. It just adds more entertainment value here to Pillar to Post. Now, I will be doing all the commentary for the Indie Feds. When we can work things out with the Raw and SmackDown, we will be doing it together with Red Rainer from the Heavyweight Mark channel. I had an issue this week, Thursday. I did a live stream at 8 o'clock with WWE 2K17, and I forgot a major issue when doing these shows. The intros for Raw and SmackDown both get hit with copyright infringement laws. So, while the live stream was going, everyone can view it. As soon as it was done, I got nailed with a worldwide ban on the video. So I did take it down. I was informed this by some Facebook friends of mine that were trying to watch it. They were interested in watching it, but they missed the live stream, and once they went to go watch it, it was already blocked. So I want to apologize to those that missed it. I did take it down. Now I know I didn't have to, but no one can watch it anyway. So what's the point of it having it on the channel? SmackDown, I got a warning that there was some copyright in there, but the video was not taken down or blocked. So I left that there. It didn't do too bad. For my channel, it did pretty good. 55 viewers. I think that's pretty damn good, and I appreciate those 55 views. So, my fantasy booking of Monday Night Raw, which is pretty damn good. Even Red Rainer from the Heavyweight Mark channel that is usually the booker for Raw said that for the most part it was a great pay-per-view. He even turned the one match that I had, it was the Revival versus the Hardy Boys, and for an impromptu general manager decision, he declared it was for the titles. Well, the Hardy Boys retained regardless. The main event was a cage match between Finn Balor and Hideo Itami. And what I thought was going to be a long, brutal match between these two ended up being a very quick victory for one Finn Balor. We had Charlotte meeting Ember Moon. Ember Moon's debut on Monday Night Raw for the fantasy booking, and Ember Moon came up short against the Queen, Charlotte Flair. We had Wolfgang go one-on-one against Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens taking Wolfgang to school. Pretty good match. I loved it. I thought it was a dream match in itself. We got two big bruisers of wrestlers, and they collided, and it was an exceptionally good match. There was another tag match. It was the Club versus the Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus. And Cesaro and Sheamus took out the Club in a wonderfully long and brutal match. It was a great match to have. So, I think that was basically all the matches. I might have missed one or two. I do apologize for those that missed it, and I do apologize for not remembering that YouTube has that issue with those intros, and so does WWE. So from here on out, I will be making sure that those intros are out of there. And when I do the live streams, I don't get nailed, or when we do the uploads, I don't get nailed for copywriting and restrictions. And at least this time I only got a warning. I didn't get my my live stream privileges removed, so I do appreciate that. I want to say thank you to YouTube for being that kind to me. I'm fairly new at the podcast, and I don't need my live streams taken away from me because I made one little mistake. The SmackDown one, like I said, will be held this Tuesday, and Raw Fantasy Booking will take place Monday, both at 4 p.m. So make sure that if you want to watch it, you are there. And because I'm making sure that those intros are gone, you can always watch it later on when you have the time. I do thank everyone that does join the live streams. It is always good to see people there. I do want to make one thing clear. This is a pretty clean channel. I do use some foul language sometimes. I do apologize that I do, but it is me being me, okay? I don't change the way I speak with my wife. I don't change the way I speak with my family or her family or anyone that comes into my house. And I'm not going to change the way I speak here on YouTube because it's me. I'm being genuine, and I'm being the person that I've always been. And if you don't like it, I do apologize. But when you are in the live stream, when I am doing a fantasy booking, I am not swearing. I am not making any rude or lewd comments. I do not abuse my viewers. I expect my viewers to use that same respect towards me and the live stream. Okay, we had a viewer come on and simply just told me to go F myself. I take exception to that because, for one, I don't know you and you don't know me. So for you to come into the live stream and just say, Pete Wall, you need to go F yourself, and then, keep quiet the rest of the time because you know you did wrong, or you just left right away, don't do it on me, okay? I won't do it on your channel. You don't pull that crap on me. You know what? It is a sign of respect. I don't have filters on my live stream. I don't have mods on my live stream. Why? Because I think under the right circumstances, everyone knows how to use the brain that they were born with. Okay? So you don't need to be a douchebag. You don't need to be an asshole. And you don't need to be some window licker looking for attention by simply coming onto someone's live stream, cussing them out, just so you get attention. You've got your attention now. I know who you are. So now I'll be watching for you, and I will be making sure the next time you step into my stream, you are quickly removed. Okay? Because if you don't know how to use respect, you don't know how to use the brain you were born with, and you don't know how to conduct yourself with respect and honor and, just act like a human being, a decent human being, you don't need to be on my channel. You don't need to be saying those things on my live stream. And I will make sure the next time you step in, you are quickly removed. That's how it's going to work. That's me being me. Now, if you would have done that on the street, in my face, guaranteed you would have had one option. That would have been to run. I do not take disrespect lightly. So if you got something to say, you make sure that you are very close to me when you say it. If you live in a different city, fine. Make sure you stay far away. This guy don't take that shit. Not at all. Not here on YouTube, not in real life, not on the street at all. Do not mess with this guy. So, moving on, because I hate getting in that kind of mood. Like I said, I'm going to say it one more time. Raw and SmackDown Fantasy Booking with the WWE 2K17 by Red Rainer from Heavyweight Mark, as well as Pillar to Post, me, Pete Wall, will be taking place Monday and Tuesday at 4 p.m. The Indie League, known as Big Dog Wrestling, the brand's yet to be named, will be held on Friday and Saturday at 6 p.m. live. Okay? You got that clear now. So now, let's move on to the news. Actually, I should shout out to my sponsors before I go any further. I should have done that already. Once again, a shout out to Tyler Black. Thank you for becoming a patron. Gave me a $5 patron, and that's why he gets these shout outs here on YouTube. And I want him to send me his link to his channel so I can help promote his channel as well. He is a decent guy. He runs a very good channel. It is wrestling related. You guys will love it. So make sure you give him a chance. Check him out. Once I've got the link, I will give it to you guys. Please, Tyler Black, post it in the comments below today. I know you're going to be watching, so please do that for me. So today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/pillar2post. Now they have over 200,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, MP3 player, or any other traveling device you might carry that is capable of downloading your free audiobook. Now, this is how it works. You join, you get your 30-day free membership, you automatically download your free audiobook of your choice. There are tons of titles to choose from, tons of genres. They have them all. Okay, be it wrestling related, fantasy fiction, whatever your heart desires. You download the book you want, and you can take it with you wherever you go. Gym, fishing, camping, working on your car, and you want to hear a book being read to you. Or, just wanting to relax in your home and just have someone's voice, read to you in that soothing tone. That is your choice. Now, if you don't want to stick out the 30-day free trial and want to cancel as soon as you download your free audiobook, you can do that and you still keep your free audiobook. They do not take that back on you, so you don't have to worry about that. Take advantage of this author because it helps the channel out in a big way. Also, it puts Audible's name out there, and you get something for that little bit of time you've wasted just to get your download. So it takes all of 5 minutes to do, maybe 10 minutes if you're looking for the right book you want, and you're done. And if you want to unsubscribe or end your membership, you have that option. There is a new sponsor coming. I'm just waiting for the details and the links that they will provide me for you guys as well as myself, and I will be announcing that as soon as I hear back from them. I'm hoping this weekend or as early as Monday. So keep that in mind. Also, if you want to visit my Teespring store, that is in the description below. We do have a Pillar to Post t-shirt as well as a Big Dog Wrestling t-shirt available. The Big Dog t-shirt was designed many years ago with a friend of mine, and it is the name on the t-shirt is Team 7th Circle Big Dog Wrestling. It has a big pit bull in there with some background stuff going on. It looks cool. I love it. So it is available. Like I said, there is a Pillar to Post t-shirt that is the original design for Pillar to Post, not the new one that you see, and not the one that will be coming very soon. I'm always working on a new design for Pillar to Post, so actually I might be looking forward to having someone do a beautiful graphic design for the channel here. If you are one of those graphic designers that really know how to make a logo look and pop, I am wanting your attention right now. So please, in the comment below, if you are one of those people, make sure you hook me up, and I will make sure that you get some good deals coming your way as well. My Facebook merchandise page, my Facebook author page, as well as if you want to friend me on Facebook and connect with me over there, it is possible with the links I provide in the description. If you want to become a patron, you can visit my Patreon page at patreon.com/pillar to post. and you want to connect with me on Twitter, it is at Pillar to Post 77. And for those VidMe followers, always upvote, because if you love what you're watching, do me the favor of upvoting. And if you haven't seen what I'm doing on VidMe, it is vid.me/pillar2post. And finally, for those sub-stories, if you want to share a wrestling experience with me, or even something you've endured and overcome in your life, and you want me to share that here on Pillar to Post, send that to me at steeldragon1234@hotmail.com. Thank you very much for that. I know you guys do get tired of sitting through that, but it is what it is. You got to do that to promote your brand. And you know what? I've got 2 brands I like to take care of: Circle of Steel, my novel, and merchandise, as well as Pillar to Post. So it does need to be done. So let's move on to the first article, and it is a big one, but I do need a drink. Mauro Ranallo to call Mayweather versus McGregor. Big thing going on. So, via Sporting News, Showtime announced Mauro Ranallo will be the play-by-play announcer for the upcoming Mayweather versus McGregor fight on August 26th. Mauro retweeted the article once the news broke. Mayweather versus McGregor. Meet the Showtime TV team that will take the pay-per-view mega fight. Now, Mauro Ranallo, as you all know, left WWE because of the bullying that was going on screen as well as off by one JBL, the one that should have been fired many years ago and still sticks around and very, very seldomly has something important to say on commentary, if ever. Now, I do like this. Mauro Ranallo, I think, is the best voice right now to call this fight. Okay, you've got McGregor that has been shooting his mouth off for many years now against wrestlers as well as boxers. And he's going to go against one of the best lightweights out there when it comes to boxing. I think it's light heavyweight or lightweight. I can't remember. I'm not a boxing fan. I do like to box, but I'm not a boxing fan. But it's a big fight. Mayweather versus McGregor. Just excuse me for 1 minute. Honey, you were coming down for a reason.
I thought you were just talking to somebody. I was going to ask you if you wanted to have a drink.
Yes, you bring the stuff down. I will mix it while I'm doing my podcast. Sorry for the intrusion. That was my elusive wife, never seen but always heard when she steps into the room. So we got McGregor and Mayweather. Huge fight potential. And it's going to make a lot of people very wealthy. There is going to be betting going on, massive amounts of betting. There is the bookers, and the draw itself is going to reach millions upon millions of people. And the money that's involved in this fight, wow, it is going to be out of this world. And with Mauro Ranallo calling it, you can expect a very well-spoken commentary team behind this fight. I'm happy to see Mauro Ranallo moving on and getting into where he wants to be. Now, he's a guy that loves the boxing scene, the UFC and MMA style scene, and he does well calling it. And when he came to WWE, that is the way he was calling matches here, and people enjoyed it. Not everyone. He wasn't everyone's cup of tea. Hell, even my wife didn't like the guy very much. But I did. I appreciated the realism he brought to the matches. And that's what he's going to bring to this fight. He is going to bring the ultimate commentary to a big fight scene. So, now while I accommodate my wife quickly, I want to take the time to remind everyone that Monday and Tuesdays will be the fantasy booking of Raw and SmackDown. And Friday and Saturday will be the independent fed being called Big Dog Wrestling. And I am busy creating the wrestlers currently. I am busy making the graphics for the arena and everything. So I'm actually pouring us a couple of Ryan Cokes. So I do apologize. But you know what? My wife likes the way I make a drink, so I have to make sure I'm good to her. She sitting upstairs all by herself right now while I'm shooting this podcast. So thank you for accommodating me. Thank you, sweetheart. Love you bunches. Ah, beautiful. So, moving on. I do apologize, but I don't edit, okay? My editing software sucks balls. So, if there is something like this, I'm going to try and just keep on going with it, and if I have to talk about something else while I'm busy, I'm sorry. I hope you do appreciate my dedication, though. So up next, WWE NXT Women's Title Stipulation match announced. So WWE announced the following today. Asuka to defend NXT Women's Title against Nikki Cross in a last woman standing match. Big match stipulation here. If you missed NXT this week, by God, you missed a great fight between Asuka and Nikki Cross after Ruby Riott was eliminated. Now, while Ruby Riott was in there, it was still a great fight feel, but it went just beyond once Nikki Cross and Asuka met one-on-one. Very good match. Now, NXT Women's Champion Asuka will put her coveted title on the line against crazed Nikki Cross on the June 28th episode of NXT. The title showdown will be a last woman standing match, further adding to the uncertainty and chaos surrounding the huge championship contest. Now, the Extreme stipulation was a logical next step in Asuka and Cross's rivalry after the two brawled throughout Full Sail University on the June 14th episode of NXT. Along with Ruby Riott, they competed in a triple threat elimination match for the NXT Women's title. After Riott had been eliminated, Asuka and Cross fought outside the arena, only to return and eventually crash through a table, leaving them both laid out in a heap of carnage. Now, Asuka's record-breaking NXT Women's title reign has overcome many obstacles, but she has yet to face a challenger as crazy as Cross in a bout that caters to chaos like a last woman standing match. Now, will we see the end of the Empress of Tomorrow's historic title reign? That is yet to be seen. Asuka is just wonderful as champion, and if she takes a loss to or from Cross, that could devastate her career and her confidence. And we all know she has an abundance amount of confidence and ego right now. And if that were to shatter on her, I think we'd see Asuka in a whole new light. Now, we're going to find out on Wednesday, June 28th at 8, 7 Central on the award-winning WWE Network. So, I think this is, like the article said, a logical next step for these women to fight under these circumstances. A last woman's standing match, perfect. Okay? This is what I like about NXT. They view the feud, and they look for what they can do next to make it even better. You look at what NXT did with Asuka and Ruby, as well as Nikki Cross last week or this week. Everything was done pitch perfect, and now they're just heightening that feud by taking Ruby Riott out of there because she did get eliminated. Now they're just focusing on the two women. And the two women that took it to the next level this week on NXT. And they're going to bring it to the next level when it comes to a last woman standing match. You can guarantee it's not just going to be a big fight feel. It is going to be outrageous when these two women collide. And that's coming to us on NXT. Not at TakeOver or whatever. It is on NXT, and it is going to make that show pop. NXT is where it's at, folks. They do things right while Raw and SmackDown continue to do things wrong. Jinder Mahal hopes for a dream feud with The Rock. This is from Sportskeeda. Now, WWE Champion Jinder Mahal spoke with Sportskeeda recently as he prepares for his title defense against Randy Orton in Money in the Bank. That is this Sunday, folks. Now, I've got some highlights from that interview, and he goes on to talk about The Rock being his dream opponent. He goes on to say, I think The Rock would be my perfect pick, just because he's such a huge superstar, and growing up, he was one of my favorites. You know, he was my idol. Just everything, from the way he spoke to his fashion sense to his style in the ring. You know, he was a very fierce competitor. He was very strong and was always in tremendous shape and great on the microphone. Very entertaining. So that would be my dream opponent of all time, to work a program with The Rock. He goes on to say, you know, I think it's still possible and can happen one day. He likes to come back to the WWE every once in a while. While I think it's a real chance that the opportunity can come to fruition. Now, he also gives his thoughts on The Undertaker's apparent retirement. He goes on to say, I believe there is another chapter left, but that's the thing about the WWE. That's the thing with Undertaker. He's so mysterious, he's so unpredictable, you don't know what that chapter's going to be. You know, he can pop up anytime. He can pop up on Raw or on SmackDown. He can pop up at WrestleMania. You just never know. But I believe that he still has something left. But that's just my opinion. Even if he's done, he'll go down as one of the greatest of all time. And I do agree big time there. A feud with Jinder and The Rock, I look at it as being one-sided. The Rock kicking his ass all over the place. Because frankly, when it comes to wrestling style, mic skills, and everything, it all falls on The Rock to carry that match. And he would carry it. And he'd probably make it look better than it would be. And he'd still come out victorious. His pick for the Women's Money in the Bank match. He says, I think it's a great opportunity for the women. You know, WWE is very progressive and the women's division is moving forward. They have a match just like the WWE male superstars are having, and it's tremendous. It shows equality, which I know WWE is very proud about. It's a chance to showcase the women's division because I do believe they are tremendous. Tremendous athletes. They hold their own against any of the matches that the men are having. As far as winning, I'm going to say Carmella. Wow, that's a big one. We haven't seen a lot of her. She's unpredictable and is kind of the dark horse. I don't know about that. I would like to see her win, he goes on to say. Now, Jinder also commented on whether an India tour will be happening anytime soon. He also discussed his relationship with the great Khali and much more. And if you want to, you can visit, I think it was WrestleZone, for the complete interview. So, he thinks Carmella is the dark horse in the women's ladder, or Money in the Bank ladder match. Wow. You know, I think this is where a Natalya could really make a big showing. You know, Becky Lynch maybe, maybe Charlotte even. But I want to see this match because I don't know if these women really know what they're in store for. Okay, you can watch all the ladder matches you want. Once you're on that ladder and you decide what kind of move you want to do off of it or what kind of bump you're willing to take off that ladder, that's what I want to see. I want to see if these women are as tough and brave as they like to think. Now, I'm not saying they're not tough. I know they're tough. But it is a totally different story to want to be in this type of match and then being in it. Okay? Big difference. So moving on, match added to the WWE Money in the Bank kickoff show. And we also have the updated match card. So WWE has added a match to this Sunday's Money in the Bank kickoff, and it will be the Hype Bros versus the Colognes. Zack Ryder returned to TV this past week after being out for 7 months with a knee injury. Now the Hype Bros reunite this Sunday at Money in the Bank for the kickoff show. I don't understand. They said they had unfinished business, and they were your number one contenders. They won, I believe it was a battle royal or something like that, or an elimination tag to become the number one contenders. Zack Ryder says they have unfinished business to take care of. So you'd think that would have been against the champions, the Usos, who are your champions at the moment. If they've got business to take care of, that means they are still number one contenders in their own right. And they would want to take care of that business against the Usos. But the Clones, it doesn't make any friggin' sense to me. None whatsoever. So expect the Hype Bros to win. Now, I've got the updated match card, and let's see, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view will be on the 18th from the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis. So the WWE title match is still Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal, of course. Money in the Bank ladder match hasn't changed. It's AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin versus WWE United States Champion, which I don't understand why he's in there, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Another one, I don't understand why he's in there. I could see Dolph Ziggler being in there to revive his career. Baron Corbin makes sense. Sami Zayn makes sense. AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Shinsuke Nakamura make absolutely no sense. They are already made men. Yes, Shinsuke Nakamura hasn't done anything big on SmackDown yet, but he is big overseas. He is already big in WWE. He does not need the Money in the Bank to elevate his career. Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, definitely. Dolph Ziggler to revive his career, definitely. But AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, Shinsuke Nakamura, I don't know. They needed to be subbed out. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, Carmella, Becky Lynch, Natalya, Tamina Snuka, and Charlotte Flair. Now, I will be giving my predictions later on, and I believe that will be done later tonight. SmackDown Women's title match, Lana versus Naomi. SmackDown Tag Team title match will be the New Day versus the Uso, and the kickoff show now featuring the Hype Bros versus the Clones. So any hope that you guys saw Mojo having a singles career, the only way that's going to happen is if he turns on Zack Ryder during this match or at the end and walks out as a heel. That's the only way you're going to see it. Former WWE star reportedly in talks for Mae Young Classic. Now, yesterday, it was uploaded on YouTube today, but my Patreon patrons got it 12 hours early. I gave you a list of all the women that were basically in the Mae Young Classic as of this moment. Now this one, according to Pro Wrestling Sheet, former WWE star Serena Deeb is in talks with WWE to participate in the upcoming Mae Young Classic tournament, despite technically being retired from the ring. Now, sources note Serena Deeb has been discussing coming out of retirement with WWE to compete in this summer's Mae Young Classic tournament. However, it's not a done deal quite yet. For those of you that don't remember Serena Deeb, she is best known for her time in the Straight Edge Society along with CM Punk and Luke Gallows. She shaved her head when she joined. So I think it's a great idea. She is a great wrestler. If you haven't seen her wrestle, you should. She is a great talent, and I think she is deserving to be in this tournament. I think she could make a very good spot. WWE looking to take legal action against a business owner in the UK. Yes, they're going that low. So WWE is possibly set to be taking legal action against a business owner in the UK over his logo. The Nottingham Post is reporting that Alistair Big Al Roworth received an email from WWE threatening to take legal action against him over the logo he uses for his Raw Motors business in Nottingham. Now, I did look at the logo. Clearly, it is a ripoff of the Raw logo, but it's all in blue instead of red. So clearly the person that created this logo for him clearly and blatantly ripped off the WWE. But he is a motor company. He is a mechanic. And they're going to they threaten him with legal action? Come on, give me a break. Okay? For one, he's in the UK. Two, it is a garage, a business, a small business. It isn't even a big business. I can understand he's using your logo, the Raw logo, but give me a break. Really. Okay, you're getting petty now. Wanting to sue people and everything over a logo is retarded. Yes, I know you had someone design it for you specifically so it was one-of-a-kind logo for the WWE. My opinion, that's all, you know? Okay, going after the little guy. You know, I would take it as a sign of respect. He enjoys watching Raw. Well, this is what Roworth had to say. Roworth was given 2 months by the WWE to change his logo, but instead, jokingly, asked WWE to come see him in the ring regarding the issue. I like that man already. Like him. Big news here. Backstage update on Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis heading to the WWE, and that is coming very, very soon, people. Very soon. So Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis are scheduled to be on the road with the SmackDown crew this weekend for Sunday's Money in the Bank pay-per-view event in St. Louis, Missouri, at the Royal Farms Arena, and Tuesday's SmackDown TV event in Dayton, Ohio, at the E.J. Nutter Center, according to the PWInsider.com. Now, it's expected that the duo will make their SmackDown Live debut shortly. The married couple departed from Impact Wrestling back in February after opting not to re-sign a deal with Anthem when Anthem took over. Now, if you recall, their contract expired with Impact Wrestling in late 2016 and worked for the promotion on pay appearances deals up until February. Although Impact Management attempted to sign them a new deal, they decided not to do so. Kanellis was last seen on WWE television in February of 2010. Now, I know there are some of you that think Mike Bennett should be starting off in NXT, and I kind of agree with that. It seems like everyone has to go through NXT to get to the main roster, at least unless you're like someone big like AJ Styles or what have you. But Kanellis has been with WWE before, and I really hope they don't mess with her character, folks, because I like her the way she is. Playing some ditzy dumbass, just being mistreated and talked down to by the wrestlers as she's doing interviews, I don't want to see that. She needs to be the person she is now. Not what she was back in WWE days, okay? She is attractive, she is smart, intelligent, and she actually is better the way she is now than she was before. Keep her that way. Mike Bennett, you know, I see big things in his future. I see him being a top contender for the U.S. title. I don't think I see him quite as the world title type guy, but that mid-card championship would look good around his waist, and I think it would do tons for his career. My opinion. EC3 comments on possible WWE return. But before I move on, I need a drink. So Ethan Carter III, also known as EC3 from Impact Wrestling, is the special guest on Sean Waltman's X-Pac 123 60 this week. Now, EC3 talked about his possible return to WWE and what he learned from the WWE legend, Dusty Rhodes. So EC3 talks about whether or not he would return to WWE, and he has this to say. It's not definitely a thought I have now that I've accomplished a lot and kind of made a name for myself elsewhere. To be blunt and frankly honest, I have a lot left to accomplish. I believe I have a lot to prove there in WWE that I never had the chance to do or didn't deserve at the time. But you know, I've learned a lot about myself and know myself now that it's not that it's definitely on my mind, but it's not something I can focus on. My commitments are with Impact. Now, EC3 talks about what he learned from Dusty Rhodes. And this is what he had to say. What are the important things you learned from Dusty? And he says this to say. Just communication, telling a story, the ability to base a promo, the hook in the beginning, and the conclusion being the most important part, and the peaks and valleys, you take them on the way. When you're trying to tell that story, let's see, I lost myself here. You have your initial thing that catches their attention. You can have that the best match of the world and your finish absolutely sucks. You have a bad match, but you have a bad match, but you have a bad promo. You have an okay or bad match until the end, and the conclusion is great. Then you have a great promo and a great match. EC3 talks about working with Rip Rogers. He goes on to say, I moved down to Louisville and got to mingle with some guys. Rip was in charge of that class, and it was just an eye-opening experience. I thought I knew something, and I knew absolutely nothing. Just the way he teaches the basics. The thought process of being a heel, being a babyface. I wish a lot of people had that experience with him. And he goes on to talk about leaving WWE. And he goes on to say, I got hurt on the road. I believe it was a Saturday night main event match with Cesaro, and I kind of got hurt. I had surgery and rehab, so I went back to developmental to at least work on my skills or do whatever to get back on the radar. Instead, I got fired. Where was I? Yes, instead I got fired, but it's okay. It's a lesson to learn, and it inspired me to work even harder. So that was your EC3 interview. I have seen him wrestle. He is a pretty good wrestler. He's got that body that a lot of the bigger, muscular wrestlers have. I think he would make something out of himself in WWE, but he would need to be starting off in NXT. He does need a little bit of, shaping, work those hard edges out of him, and I think he would be a great competitor in WWE. Chris Jericho to be out of action longer than expected. The Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla himself, Chris Jericho, may not be returning to WWE TV as soon as most expected. As you are aware, Jericho is currently on tour with his band, Fozzy. Now, on the most recent episode of Talk is Jericho, Y2J stated that he wants Fozzy to be the best possible band that they can be, and he wants them to get the spots they have on their own merit. Now, the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter is reporting that Fozzy has picked up more tour dates. The band will now be on tour until November. So, we will not be seeing Y2J for quite some time, and this guy is all too happy for it. I might take a little bit of heat for that. I'm not worried. But see, it is one less highlight reel I have to watch. It is one last, list promo I have to watch. It is one last time I have to see Chris Jericho on my television. Okay? Now, I know there is a lot of you guys that love the guy, they love the list, they love the highlight reel, but frankly, the highlight reel sucked. The list sucked. And you can put my name on that list, too. I don't care. But it sucked, okay? They were boring. They weren't funny to me. It became overused and very, very dumb to watch, okay? So I was tired of it. So I think it's good that he's taking care of his band instead of himself. He needs to think of the team instead of just himself. Scott Steiner speaks on why he left TNA in 2012. Also discusses Dixie Carter being an idiot and discusses the WWE Hall of Fame. Scott Steiner, who will face Jeremy Borash and Joseph Park at Slammiversary 15 on July 2nd, was a recent guest on Ring Rust Radio. During Steiner's appearance on the show, he revealed why he left TNA Impact Wrestling back in 2012 and gave a response to the possibility of being entered into the WWE Hall of Fame. These are just the highlights of that interview. Why he left TNA. He goes on to say, when I left, nothing impressed me. That's why I left. The change of management, which was a problem because Dixie Carter is an idiot, and then she brought in these other idiots like Hulk Hogan. I was just like, damn, I got to get the hell out of here. I watched them from afar, and their pockets kept getting run down, and then, thank God, someone else bought it. Ran her out, and now the right guy is back in charge, being Jeff Jarrett. That's basically who I started with before when Jeff started Impact Wrestling. I definitely wanted to come back and work for the organization again. And he talks about the signing process while negotiating his return to Impact. I thought this was a little bit of a joke. He's staying in character. This might be the real him, but to me, I'm going to say he's in character because this sounds kind of stupid. I get paid to beat people up, which is the greatest job in the world. I legally can punch someone in the face and not get arrested for it, which most human beings can't do. Nowadays, a lawyer calls you up and you get slammed with a civil suit, so it really is the best job in the world. People pay me to punch someone in the face. Josh called me up, asked me if I want to punch someone in the face, and I said, yeah, pay me and it's on. And that's basically how it went down. Really. Okay, Scott Steiner. Steiner also talked about possibility of being in the WWE Hall of Fame, and you all know Scott Steiner does not like hearing about the WWE Hall of Fame, and I do kind of have to agree. This is what he had to say. I am already in a couple Hall of Fames, like the Michigan Hall of Fame and the Dan Gable Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, so my accolades speak for themselves. Let's just say I'm not losing any sleep over any Hall of Fame induction. The one Hall of Fame that I refuse to go in is the WWE Hall of Fame. Because do you know where it's at, he asks. Where is it? Do you have an address? It's a bunch of bullshit. If they called me up, I wouldn't go because there's no address. You can't go see it. So, where is it? Now, I do agree with this, okay? Scott Steiner might be a lot of things, and you can call him anything you want because, you know what, he probably is those names. He's a bully, he's an asshole, he's a bullshitter, and there are many other things you can call the guy. And yes, I would be the man to go and say this to his face. Now, I'd probably get an ass kicking because of the injuries I do already have, and the handicaps I already have, but I'd still look the man in his eyes and tell him the same fucking thing. But he does make a good point here. Where is the WWE Hall of Fame? In the cloud? In a warehouse somewhere? They do not actually have a legitimate Hall of Fame. And I don't understand this. They will build anything. They will, create the most outrageous stage at WrestleMania that costs millions. But they will not make a legit Hall of Fame for their Hall of Famers. They get statues built of Ric Flair and all these other ones. Bruno Sammartino, Macho Man Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, you name it, the list goes on. But they don't have a physical building where they can say, this is the WWE Hall of Fame. People can't go and tour it. Fans can't go and tour it. Tourists can't go and check it out. So, what is the point of having this Hall of Fame when you don't have a physical body to put it in? Okay? I do understand his point here, and I do get where he's coming from. Enzo Amore getting a little bit big with Conor McGregor on Twitter. So, you all know, it's all a done deal. McGregor versus Mayweather is a done deal. Well, the recently announced fight between Floyd Mayweather and UFC fighter Conor McGregor has caused a media frenzy as of late. Now, everyone from all aspects of sports has been commenting on the match up, including WWE superstar Enzo Amore. Now, McGregor does not have the best seating with wrestlers, as he has made comments in the past referring to them as soft or as pussies, among other insults. Enzo took to Twitter to alert McGregor that if Floyd doesn't get the job done, then he will. I do find that funny, man. Enzo tweeted this to McGregor: "You talk shit, and Floyd is going to knock it out of you. And if he doesn't, I will." Big words for the very small member of Enzo and Cass. You all know the tag team. Enzo gets tossed around like a rag doll every match, and I could see him getting done the same way by McGregor. A lot of words from a very little man. The Big Show feels as if new superstars of today are spoiled. They cannot handle getting an ass chewing. This is what the Big Show had to say. Now, as covered here on EWN during the week, Big Show was the most recent guest on Chris Jericho's Talk is Jericho podcast. It was a very interesting interview, hearing the Big Show's perspective on things, including the show discussing that he feels as if WWE was better during the time where mostly everyone disliked one another and were in competition. And I will agree with him there, because when you hear what he had to say, you will not dispute his argument. Now, these are the excerpts from that interview, but before we get into it, Big Show says, "You're getting your ass chewed out, and you don't understand why you're getting your ass chewed out, and the last thing you can do is ask why. Because then it'll expose what kind of an idiot you really are. So you just have to nod your head, hope you filter it out, and hope you go out there and figure it out. These new kids don't really have that problem because they're catered to. They get everything explained to them. It gets broken down. They watch videos, and if they mess up, they get patted on the back. It's okay. We need to do this next time." Okay? They can't take an ass chewing. That's one thing about the newer kids. They can't take an ass chewing because they fold like aluminum foil. If you're on Vince's radar, that means he sees something in you. I think it makes you a more confident, solid individual. Once you get forged in fire, now you become a stronger person in your character and your convictions. Now everybody gets along. They all go to Panera Bread or Chipotle. They go to their CrossFit gyms. They're all buddies. Know what I mean? Back in the day, we all hated each other. But if you think about it, Vince would prefer an environment. He liked that environment because when you don't like the guy you're next to, you're not going to go out there and take it easy. You're going to work hard because you want to outdo that guy. And you cannot dispute what he says in that interview. Back in the day, everyone was looking out for themselves. Or if you were a tag team, you were looking out for your partner. But for the most part, yes, you had your cliques, you had your friends, you had those you trusted. But mainly, you were in it for yourself because you knew if you could outdo the last match that took place, that was going to elevate you in the roster. And if you could get elevated to the point where you were in the main event, man, that was just perfect for you. You were in the money. Now, everyone's friends. There's no competition. There's no excitement. There's no big spots anymore. No one is fighting for their job. Why? For one, there's no more WCW for competition, okay? And I'm just using WCW as an example. It could be any wrestling federation. They have no competition to worry about. So everyone knows as long as they are doing a somewhat entertaining, good job, they're not going to lose their jobs that easily, okay? If you get the backing from the fans, you're good graces with the management. And back in the day, you had to fight for your spot. I understand what Big Show's saying. I have fought and clawed and scratched and bled for everything I have gotten in this life. Everything I have managed to make, I have worked my ass off for. I wanted to walk again, I fought. I wanted to get off drugs, I fought. Okay, I wanted to keep my family, I fought. You don't see that in the wrestling world anymore. No one is fighting for their spot. They're basically guaranteed their spot and they're not worried about losing their job. That is what is the big problem, one of the big problems with wrestling today, especially in WWE. Now, the second problem is, as you know, booking is all gone. They do not have bookers anymore. They got Hollywood script writers writing for a wrestling show that they know nothing about. So that is Pillar to Post tonight. I know that my patrons will be getting this beforehand. It will be uploaded on, Saturday. Today's Friday. Saturday. And I will be doing a preview and prediction show for Money in the Bank either tonight yet or tomorrow. Could be Saturday or whatnot. I don't know as of yet. I thank you for joining me. Remember, always subscribe if you're not a subscriber. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe. Show some love. Show some love by hitting that little bell so you get all the notifications for when I upload and go live. Also, make sure you hit that like button, because if you enjoyed the show, hit the like button, man. This is Pete Wall. You've been watching Pillar to Post. Thank you very much. And remember, Monday, Tuesday at 4 p.m. will be the SmackDown and Raw fantasy booking. Friday and Saturday will be the Indie League Big Dog Wrestling, and that will be held at 6 p.m. and it will also be live streamed. Thank you very much for joining me on the show.